Hi, Mr. Ko here again. And for today's topic, we're going to be doing subtracting fractions, and our goal for today is to subtract fractions. So again, we have our basic fraction tips. I'm going to go over it again. Number one, make sure that your denominators are the same before you begin the subtraction. Number two, make sure that you change any mixed numbers and whole numbers to improper fractions. And then last but not least is your simplify. You need to simplify whether it is a 2/4 to 1/2, or basically if you're taking a improper fraction and simplifying it back down to a mixed number. Alright, here we have a basic subtraction question. It is 7/8 minus 3/8. Notice that the denominators are the same. When they are the same, then you don't really have to do anything except to just subtract straight across. So here, I'm going to take 7 minus 3, and then again, just like in addition, you're going to go ahead and keep that bottom number. Because again, this is part of a whole. You're not subtracting 8 things, you're subtracting part of actually one thing. So 7 minus 3 is going to give us 4. Here we have 8. So here, 4/8. Don't forget your third tip, which is to simplify. When you simplify 4/8, think about what they have in common and then divide by that. So here I'm going to divide this by 4, divide this by 4, and now I have 1/2. Okay. And if you look at it, 4/8 is actually 1/2 of something. If I have 4 out of 8 something, so that would basically means I have 1/2 of that 8. Okay, so 1/2 would be the simplified version of 4/8. Same thing, it's just a different way on how to present. Okay, now let's look at this one. I have 8/9 subtracting 3/4. So first off, notice that the denominators are different. So I'm going to choose a denominator that they both have in common, which would be 36. And how I can figure that out is I can take 9 times this, because I know that that's going to always give me my denominator. Just as if I were to take this times this, that's also going to give me my common denominator. So that's an easy way to do this. If I take this 9 times 4 to give me 36, I'm going to have to go and multiply the top. I now have 32. Here, times this by 9, I now have 27. I now have a common denominator to subtract. So I'm going to have 36 on the bottom, and I have 32 minus 27. And that's going to give me 5/36. Subtracting 32 minus 27 is equal to 5. 36 stays the same. Check to see if you can simplify any more. And both 5 and 36 have nothing in common, so you cannot do the same thing that you did up here to simplify. Alright, so now, what happens if you have a mixed number and you are subtracting a fraction? Well, the thing is, easiest way to do this is to change this into your improper fractions. Here I'm going to take this and multiply the whole number by the denominator. Then I'm going to add the numerator. So that's 1 times 3 plus 1, that gives me 4. And then that same denominator carries down. Subtracting this to 4/5, I now have a basic fraction subtraction question. Here, remember our denominators have to be the same. So again, I'm just going to go ahead and use a simple multiply by the opposites denominator. Since I multiplied down here by 5, multiply that top by 5, I now have 20/15 minus 15 on the bottom and 12 on the top. So subtracting this would be 20 minus 12 over the same denominator. Okay, so here, finishing up, 20 minus 12 is 8/15. Check to make sure that you can simplify, and if you cannot, that's your answer for that. Okay? Alright. Now, here we have a mixed number subtracting a mixed number. We're going to go ahead and use just the basic method. Since you've kind of got used to it, we're going to change everything into the improper first. So again, 2 times 4, that's 8, plus 3, so you have 11/4. Then you're subtracting this, 1 times 6 plus 5, you're going to get 11/6. And now you're going to look again and check, well, the denominators are different, so we're going to need to go ahead and change them. And you can multiply 4 times 6 and 6 times 4 and get your common denominator that way. But I do notice that 12 could be an easier number to use just because you don't have to simplify that much. So I'm going to go and multiply this to get 12, which is times 3. So that, I got 12. 4 times 3 is 12. Since I multiplied the bottom by 3, I now have 33 on that one. Okay? Here again, I'm going to want 12 here, so which means I'm going to multiply this by 2. 6 times 2 is 12. Multiply that, I get 22. 11 times 2 is 22. Now that I notice my common denominators are the same, I have my 12 on the bottom, then I can go ahead and subtract 33 minus 22, and that's going to give me 11 over 12. Okay, check to make sure that you can simplify, and if you cannot, that's it.